telethon and part of our programming to this telethon. All right, I see us. I want to make sure that we're... Yes, here we are. Okay, we're live. And I just, again, want to repeat that I'm very proud. I've been at Ken's 5 for 26 years now, and there's been nothing more heartwarming than what we've been doing the last 2 years with Canines for Warriors. They train dogs to become service dog companions to our veterans, and we're here with one mission in mind: to eliminate veteran suicide, to stop what's happening. This heartbreaking suicide number, they average 20 to 22 suicides daily because of what they're dealing with. And so many of these veterans are alone, and they go down into that dark area that they don't come back from because they don't even know Canines for Warriors exists. I want to introduce you to Tyler, because here's what's cool. Tyler, not only a veteran with a service dog, but now a trainer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So you're giving back?
I am, yeah.
Happy Veterans Day, brother.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for serving the country I love, and
Yeah.
I mean that. I really do. I want to know, from your perspective, which is twofold in a way, right? Let's start with what I was just saying. How many veterans are living in this dark chapter that they can't get out from under?
More than you know. Most of them will either not want to reach out for help, or they just don't know where to go. Unfortunately, when they get out of the military, they're not prepared as well as they are in the military for the civilian life.
Right.
So there's a big gap in that. So we're hoping to bridge that gap and help veterans recover and live a normal life.
I apologize for losing eye contact. I just want to see if anybody comments or questions. Now, if you don't mind, a little bit of Tyler's story. Where were you before Bailey came into your life? Can we see Bailey? Look at, hi, Bailey. That's a big boy. That's a good boy. Pretty dog.
So I'm from Colorado. I was deployed to Iraq in 08 and 09. I moved here last year for this job, to train service dogs for veterans. It's been my passion to train dogs for a long time, and I figured what better place to be than a company that trains dogs for veterans, being a veteran myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as a veteran and getting into a relationship with Bailey, tell me about the difference that makes when you're going to the store and you're living your daily life now in a civilian world with a companion like Bailey.
So it makes a world of difference. For one, it'll help the warriors because everyone wants to look at the dog. So the warrior doesn't feel like they're being watched, as well as it allows the veteran to have eyes behind them. So like we have a cue, which is look. So if they're at a checkout looking at something, the dog is watching their six. That way they can feel like there's someone always there with them, protecting them, just letting them not be in their own head, and just being aware of the surroundings and being a lot happier about it.
What takes Bailey from dog to service dog? What kind of training are we going to take a look at today? You're going to show us a couple of things of what it takes for this to become a service dog.
So Bailey's actually a shelter dog. We got him from ACS.
Right next door.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what I love about Canines for Warriors. Finds a spot. By the way, this is only one of 2 training facilities in the United States, right here in Military City, USA. And so strategically placed, you're right next to Animal Care Service.
Yes, sir.
And a plethora, a huge population of dogs.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many shelter dogs, unfortunately. We can't pull them all.
Right.
We do have a strict requirement for the dogs that we pull from shelters. Bailey was blissfully able to pass all the requirements that we have.
You want a certain weight, you want a certain size, you're going to have strength. And
yes, sir. So one of the cues that we have for them is brace. That way, if we have a veteran that has mobility support problems and they just need help standing up, they can do that. So like I can show you right now if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So it starts out with the cue stand. And then if they need help getting up or down, brace. That way the dog can just be there to support them.
And I bet you feel Bailey kind of get ready for that.
So some of the dogs
support, right?
Some of the dogs you really see they'll arch their back.
Right.
Like they really enjoy the cue as well because it's a lot of fun for them.
Sure.
Some of them like bouncing. Like it's interesting watching different dogs do different things.
What's amazing to me, Marlene says, "Happy Veterans Day to you, Tyler."
I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely. Is how many features innately a dog has. I mean, the way the dog is designed is remarkable.
Yeah.
That they can do what they do and wake veterans up from a PTSD nightmare before it happens.
Yeah, so stuff like that we actually can't train them for. The dog just innately decides to help them out. We have had some veterans that have night terrors. The dog will wake them up during the night terror. And that's not something we trained them. We had
Right.
one dog that did a perimeter check in the room before we went to bed.
Wow.
And that's not something we trained either.
Wow.
The dog just knew that that's what the person needed and
Right.
did it. So they're more in tune to us than we are ourselves. So it's amazing what they can do.
How about you join in on this and help us out in this mission to end veteran suicide? 210-796-3682. 210-796-3682. We have operators inside Canines for Warriors ready to take your call, but more importantly, ready to take your donation so we can continue this mission. Because the more dogs we can train, like Bailey, the more veterans' lives we can save. We're putting a new leash on life. 210-796-3682. You can also text K9TX, the letters K, the number 9TX to this number. Ready? 41444. If you do that text, again, K9TX to 41444, you'll get a link and you'll be able to donate online. D, you're doing a great, I've got D on teleprompter here with that phone number and the text info, 796-3682, because again, this is your opportunity. Instead of seeing a veteran and saying, thanks for your service, which I love saying, you can actually help and donate on Veterans Day. You can love into their lives. You can save their life. And keep in mind, you're saving 2 lives because Sweet Bailey here is out of the shelter and doing something fun and sweet, baby Bailey. See? That's what I'm talking about. She loves it. I even had a Facebook comment, Tyler. It was so sweet. They said, think about it this way. You're saving 3 lives because it's the veteran, it's Bailey, but then now that Bailey's with you, we've opened up a new spot in the shelter.
Right, that's
so
right.
another dog can get into the shelter.
Yeah. Through the shelter, and then even if the dog doesn't make it through our program, we adopt dogs. So we save as many lives as we can through this program.
Don't you love that phrase? I mean, would you say that's the best way to put it? That Tyler and so many warriors have been given a new leash on life?
Definitely, that fits it perfectly. Like there's not even a better way to put that.
Where would Tyler be today if Bailey wasn't in your life?
Still up in Colorado. I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. I haven't worked a day in the last year being here. So this has definitely changed my life for the better.
I love it. All right. Hey, walk through some stuff here with some training as I, again, give you guys the information to join this team and be a part of this mission. 210-796-3682. 210-796-3682. We do this on Veterans Day so that we can love into the people who have been so selfless and said, I will serve the country I love. Aren't you grateful for that? Aren't you grateful for the men and women who have said, I want to serve and protect your freedom. I want to serve and protect your livelihood. Everything we have here in the United States, we can be so grateful for. We're in the greatest country in the world, and our United States military is part of the reason. So here's, on Veterans Day, an opportunity for you to love a veteran. Don't just say thank you for serving. How about you love them with some incredible acts of kindness and donation? I mean, $10 counts, $20 counts. It's all adding up for this facility right here in San Antonio. 210-796-3682. Let's show the veterans why they chose Military City, USA. Why did Canines for Warriors say, let's not just be in Florida, let's branch out with a second location, let's go to San Antonio. Now it's time to show them why they chose San Antonio, Texas. 210-796-3682. So here's one of the cool things too, as I check for comments. Sylvia tells you happy Veterans Day, Tyler. What if we have a dog we would like to donate?
So that's a question for Caitlin here.
Caitlin, come on in. So that's an interesting question. Sylvia wants to know if there's a dog that they have that they're ready to, maybe give and donate to the program. Is that a possibility?
We do take some dogs as owner surrenders, not as much so much. Right now we're really focusing on the shelters, but the one thing is sometimes dogs don't actually make it all the way through the program for various reasons, whether it's a medical reason. We want to make sure the dogs really want to do this job. Sometimes they don't want to.
Right.
So we make sure that, they're still an amazing dog. They can still be a great pet. So we do have dogs that are available for adoption right now as well.
Yeah, so Caitlin, just the opposite of what Sylvia's request, which again, they don't do it just yet. They don't do it now because we're focusing on so many of the dogs that are sheltered and getting them out and into a new life. But yes, this is a very strict program. And dogs, I mean, they have to get through this and pass. And so sometimes there's a career change for our dogs. And so canines can be adopted through Canines for Warriors. This is cool.
Yeah.
You have dogs ready for adoption.
We do, and that's exactly what we call them, is career change, because this is a job that they're working on and they need a different job, and sometimes that can mean quite literally. Sometimes we can have them go into things like search and rescue. We have a station dog program where they actually go be like a therapy dog for first responders, or they
like
can be
police stations and fire stations?
Yeah,
Okay.
or they can just be a pet with a family. We currently have 7 dogs that are available for adoption right now.
You hear that?
Yeah.
7 dogs right here at Canines for Warriors available for adoption right now. So
Yes.
how could they begin that process? Could they come out here and meet these dogs? And
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways. They can go to our website under the dog's journey. We'll have the information there. We are on Pet Finder. And then we also have a Facebook page, Adoptable Dogs, Canines for Warriors Texas. And we're constantly sharing stories about these dogs, the fun things about them, their personalities, and what they can bring to a family. I believe we have one of our career change dogs
right
here.
on cue.
Yeah.
Look at this. What a beautiful dog.
Yeah, this is Socks.
Hey, socks? I see why. Oh, those are like Dalmatian socks,
Yes.
right? Like only her feet wanted to be a Dalmatian.
Yeah. So just
Hey,
like
Socks. Hey, Socks. What are you doing? See, Socks is very excited to see me. See? Have you ever met a TV celebrity before, Socks? Maybe not, right?
Yeah, so-
Kind of. She's fangirling. Is it a
Yes,
boy or girl?
a boy.
It is a boy. He's
Yeah.
fanboying.
Yeah.
How old is Socks? Tell us about Socks.
So Socks is just like a lot of our other dogs. Was found as a stray, as a shelter dog. Was brought into the program. He made it pretty far through our program, but just like I said, we want to make sure our dogs are passionate about the service work that they're doing, and he just rather be a dog. He wants to be a pet for somebody.
Here's what's interesting. I'm thinking this dog has been trained. I mean, you're adopting a trained animal that, again, has already gained so many skills that you're not going to have to worry about. You're adopting a trained dog.
Yeah, and we continue, even if they haven't made it far through the program, we continue to work with these dogs and make sure that they can be the best pet for somebody. And you have access to certified trainers, an amazing team who will be there for the whole process.
These trainers are top shelf because look, you're training a dog that has to be 100% ready to live with a veteran, to save the veteran's life. I mean, these are dogs that have to be able to go into any circumstance, anywhere, from a shopping mall to a park. I mean, they know parks, but how about a shopping mall? Or how about an elevator? I mean, things that, they have to be ready for any circumstance.
Yeah, and again, depending on how far they've made it through the program, some of these dogs have made it pretty far through and have gone through all of that. And if they haven't quite gone through the program yet, we're doing as much as we can to expose them to these things. And they do have to pass a temperament test that we do at the shelter before they even come. So we know these are good dogs.
Right. Temperament test.
Yes.
Maybe that's good for people too sometimes.
Right?
I could use a good temperament
Me
test.
too.
I think my wife will tell you that, yeah, I wish I would have done a temperament test, maybe daily.
Yeah, right?
Caitlin, how long have you been at Canines for Warriors?
I'm still fairly new. I've been here for a few months now, but it's the best job
That's
I've
hard
ever
to
had in my
believe.
life.
I mean, just talking to you, seeing your passion. I mean, tell me about that. Just getting here and making this career choice for yourself, what this has meant to you.
It means a lot. I've worked with animals my entire life. I have worked with shelter dogs previously, and so taking that passion I have and that experience with shelter dogs, and then now seeing this side of it and what we're doing with these dogs that I've cared so much about, and seeing the difference they're making, not only for their own lives, but also for a veteran now too, is just amazing.
What better way, right, to say thank you for your
Yes.
service than to save their life and give them a new leash on life, like Tyler, like Jody and Bob inside today. I mean, these are tremendous people that, they were circling the drain. I'll put it that way. I mean, you talk to Bob, he was circling the drain before he met Grace, and his life was saved. I mean, his life was literally saved. So these dogs are amazing. Caitlin, thank you so much. And thanks to the great trainers. You guys are amazing. I mean, that is just so, look how good Socks is.
Yeah.
And you can adopt Socks. Now, something you mentioned I wanted to go into further. said that if they adopt, the relationship can continue with Canines for Warriors, even though you've taken the dog home?
Yes, we are here for you 100%. It's not just you adopt the dog and you're off with the dog and on your own. We are here if you have any questions. You have access to these trainers. Each dog is a surrender trainer, so they will have access to somebody who knows this dog very well and can help throughout the process. I mean, a year later, if you have an issue, let us know. We're
Yeah,
here.
like I'm having a problem here, and can you help me out?
Yes, we are here to help
That's
you
so
through the
cool.
full process to make sure it's comfortable for everybody, for the dog, and a good, smooth transition.
I just love this family out here of Canines for Warriors, because that relationship, as she's saying, that's the key with a veteran. I mean, once that relationship begins, it's for life.
Yes, definitely. Same thing for the veterans. You know,
Yeah.
we're here to make sure that this is a successful process, a smooth transition, and make sure that our mission is to make sure that these dogs are helping these veterans. And so we want to make sure that we see it fully through. And same thing for the dogs. Like we said, if they don't make it all the way through the program, we're here to see it fully through to make sure that they have a happy life.
I love it. Caitlin, thank you so
Of
much.
course, thank you.
Great to see you. 210-796-3682. Would you just call that number? How often do you have an opportunity to save a veteran's life? It's a phone call away. 210-796-3682. Rarely do you have an opportunity to make the difference in a life of a veteran. On Veterans Day, we do this once a year. This is it. The only day we're going to do this. 210-796-3682. If it's easier for you to text, K9TX, the letter K, the number 9, TX. And then the number is 41444. If you text that 4-digit K9TX, 4-character, to 41444, it'll set you up a link and you can donate there. $10, $20, $50. Every dollar counts. We've got to buy food bowls. We've got to buy bedding. We've got to buy all kinds of little things for everyday care of these phenomenal dogs. Because again, Caitlin, back to you for a moment. What continues to amaze me is how many features a dog innately has
Yes.
to communicate and save human beings.
Yeah, I mean, so much goes into this. You know, from the dog itself, the staff that goes into it, the care that goes into these dogs, the veterans. I mean, this is completely at no cost to them. So we're covering all
That's
of this
the other
for
part.
them. Yeah.
At no cost. And that's what you make possible today with that donation. You'll be so blessed. You will feel so good on Veterans Day giving whatever you can give. Find it in your heart and give. 210-796-3682. In fact, I'd love to come inside and show you the phone bank, show you some of the folks inside. Socks, you are the man. You are so, how old is Socks?
Socks is about 2 or 3, right?
2 or 3 years old? He is beautiful. That is so soft. Socks? Socks sees a friend over there. Says, hey, Bailey, what's going on? Let's hang out. You know, it's whatever. That's so, and do dogs get along? Most of the service dogs?
Yeah, that's one of our qualifications to make sure that they're okay to be around other dogs
Each
their
other,
size, because
yeah.
that's what they're here to do. So
Right.
yeah, we make sure that
So
a lot
cool.
of them know each other.
I love it. I love it. There comes Bailey and Tyler. I love Tyler's story because, again, here's a veteran who was paired with Bailey and then said, I want to train these dogs, and started working for Canines for Warriors and is now giving back in so many ways. That's so cool. All right, I want to make sure I'm catching y'all's comments or questions. We're good. Again, this is our day-long telethon at Canines for Warriors. Only the second facility in the United States, and it's right here in San Antonio. Here's what's really cool too, recently expanding and bought some land in Helotes. There's now a ranch in Helotes that's housing veterans and canines, because once the dog is trained, which, Caitlin, how long does the dog training take?
It can
Give or
take
take?
anywhere between like 6 to 8 months
Okay.
for the training process, and then like we said, at the ranch with their warriors, about 3 weeks.
So yeah, so the dog is up to maybe 9 months, it's under a year, and then it's a 3-week overnight ranch stay for the veteran to get used to life with their service dog.
Yes, yeah. So they come to our ranch, which you just mentioned, recently opened in Helotes, where the warriors come and stay with their dogs. We have the trainers there. We're starting to get them out in public, working with their dogs and creating that close bond with the dog right there before they go home with them.
That's so awesome. So again, that's where this money goes. All of this costs a lot of money because we're not charging the veteran a dime. They do this all free. 210-796-3682. Let's go inside. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate your time. I want to show you the phone bank, the telethon, the very people that you're going to call. You know what? If you call right now, I'll talk to you. I'll take the call. 210-796-3682. We will chat. I will make sure, you know what? For a $100 donation, it won't rain on your birthday. I can do that. It's going to rain today. We've got cloudy skies. We're waiting for the cold front. It's going to be here early this afternoon, and we're going to get some rain. Might even get some strong thunderstorms. So pay attention. Be weather aware this afternoon. We've got a risk of seeing a little bit of damaging wind and hail. But the bottom line is a $100 donation. You know, Elizabeth, this just in. For a $100 donation, it won't rain on their birthday.
Absolutely. Donate now.
I'll make sure it's a sunny day on your birthday. It'll be a $100 donation. Here's our operators. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all so much for all the work you're doing and volunteering today. But they want to go to work. They want to go to work. 210-796-3682. We're pushing towards our goal of $50,000 today. We want to hit 50. Okay, right now we're over $5,000. We want to thank so many of these great folks like Kathleen, like Barbara, like David for donating. For these anonymous donations, 1,500. That's incredible. I mean, that's incredible. In fact, I'd love to give you guys an idea. How can you get a dog? So Portia wants to know, how can you get a dog? So Caitlin, what would be the process in getting an adoption underway? Where does that begin?
Yeah, so like I said, there's a couple different ways. They can find us on Pet Finder. We do have a Facebook page. It's Adoptable Dogs, Canines for Warriors, Texas. We're featuring all of our dogs. They have their own profile on there, and you can see which dogs we have available for adoption, videos of them, how cute they are,
Right.
and they can fill out an application. We'll get it, and then we'll set an appointment for you to come meet that dog.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I wanted to show you guys, there's a couple of number amounts that it gives you an idea, kind of a practical on the donation. Like if you donate $50, that's going to be the food and water bowls that go inside the kennels. If you give us $100, you get to cover the cost of a dog bed that goes inside the kennel, and it won't rain on your birthday. I told you, $100 donation. I'm the weatherman. I will not let it rain on your birthday. It'll be a sunny day for a $100 donation. $150 covers the cost of a service dog vest. Here's what's really cool. When a dog has the vest on, it knows it's game time. It's time to be the service dog. When the vest comes off, they get to be the dog. I was talking to Jody and I was talking to Bob about some of the times we'll take them to a park and just, let's take the vest off for a minute. Go chase that squirrel. Go be a dog for a minute, you know? And because when that vest is on, it's 100% about that veteran. And then Bob was even telling me inside the house when they're just hanging out, watching TV, which is watching Ken's 5, that he'll take the vest off, but Grace is always still kind of mindful and watching. And if Bob even sighs, Grace is checking on him. Grace is checking on him. Here comes Jody right now. In fact, we'll talk to Jody for a moment. How you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
Happy Veterans Day. Doing great, doing great. Tell me a little bit about taking the vest off. I was just kind of commenting about like giving, you know, I don't know, an hour or two, or however much time. And in fact, I just saw you took it off Donna a little while ago.
Yeah. Whenever the vest is off, she's able to be a dog and to relax. You know, she's not working. When we put the vest on, well, I tell her, go to work. And that's a command. She knows, okay, now I've got to do my job. I got to pay attention to Dad. I got to look for cues and signals. And if there's any issues, I'm going to alert him. So that's kind of her mindset. But when we take the vest off, she's just like any other dog. She plays with my other pets. She hangs out with my kids. She really affects the whole dynamic of our family. So.
When you met Donna and got into this relationship, tell me some of the parts that really amazed you, that you were just like, wow, this is such a great partnership, and man, I love Donna. When did that happen, and what would take us there?
Well, I can actually tell you one of the first moments that I realized that this was going to work. When I got into the program, I didn't go out and do a lot before that. You know, so when I got in the program, they actually take you out in public with your dog. You go on their campus for 3 weeks, and you do training with your dog, just real-world stuff like you would do at home. And a lot of times before the program, when I would go out with my family, we'd go out to eat, I would go into the restaurant doors, maybe I would see something that just didn't settle with me, and I would have to go home. And I would tell my family, you could stay, but I have to leave, and they never would. But when we were in the program in Florida, one of the defining moments when I knew this program was going to work was that it was me and 11 other veterans, so 12 of us with our dogs. We were sitting at the table at the restaurant, and the waitress kept coming up to us and asking us, hey, what do you want to order? What do you want to order? And we had to keep telling her, sorry, we were talking, and we don't know. And that never really happened to me before. And I looked around the room, I realized there was a whole section of the restaurant I didn't even notice. So I talked to the other guys, and they were like, yeah, that first time it has ever happened to me. So I started to realize, like, this is a change in my life where I can actually be present in the moment in what I'm doing instead of hypervigilant and totally concerned about what's going on around me.
Surroundings.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And that's living, man.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what life is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it allows me to give my kids the proper attention that they deserve. I mean, there was a point where even my kids asked my wife, why doesn't Dad like us? And that broke me because they thought that when they would speak to me, I would look over their heads. I would look other places, and they thought I wouldn't want to pay attention to them.
But you just couldn't engage.
Right.
You, the person.
Yeah, hypervigilance. You're looking at everything while you're listening. You can't be present in the moment. Well, this dog has allowed it for me to be able to give them the attention they deserve, look them in the eye, talk to them, and be re-engaged in my family.
Will you take a moment and just talk to that veteran that's out there right now who's hopeless, who says, this ain't going to work for me. You don't know my story, bro.
Yeah.
That's really nice for you, Jody, and I'm really happy for you, but you don't know what I went through.
Yeah. Well, that was me. I'd actually decided I was going to commit suicide before I went to the program. I only chose the program because it was like the last thing. I wanted to do everything before I made that decision, and it came up. So fortunately, it worked for me. It saved my life. But the big thing was when I first got out of the military, there was a stigma that said, don't speak to anybody. People are going to lock you in a facility. They're going to take your rights away. You'll never be able to get a job. Don't talk to anyone about your problems. But that's just it. That's counterproductive. That stigma is gone. You need to reach out for help. You need to seek treatment. I mean, it helped me. I finally reached out. I fought that whole thing, that whole stigma for a long time until I couldn't do it anymore. And it almost cost me my life. So reaching out is not going to be some experience where people are going to rush in and try to lock you away or any of those negative things that a lot of people in the military especially seem to think is going to happen. So reaching out is not like that. You can reach out, you can speak to somebody, call Canines for Warriors. There's people that are literally just talk to you on the phone for a minute and let you know whether the program's going to be a good fit for you or not. So I mean, just reach out and speak to somebody.
How many times have we opened up and shared our stories and somebody else says, I was there too. I was there too. And you find a commonality and you both build and you both grow and there's growth and incredible life is experienced at that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a point where I had such severe symptoms of PTSD that I didn't think I had PTSD. I thought other people did, but I did not. And it actually took me meeting some people that had the symptoms that I did for me to realize that maybe that's what it is. So it helped me stave off suicide a little longer. And then eventually, I got to the program, which ended that whole thought for me altogether. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Jody. Here's an opportunity to save a life and tell this story one more time. You can tell this story with a donation. How often do you get to save the life of a veteran? You want to say thank you to a veteran for their service? Then donate to Canines for Warriors. Fund this mission, the mission being preventing veteran suicide. 210-796-3682. 210-796-3682. I'd promise if somebody called, I would take the call. And for $100, it won't rain on their birthday. So if the phone rings, I'm going to answer and I'm going to say, hello, Bill Taylor, it won't rain on your birthday if you give me $100. 210-796-3682. By the way, we could be doing this and you're not watching live, you're watching this video replay and it's Saturday, it's Tuesday, and we're no longer here live. So if you're just watching this video, you can go to a website and that website is Canine for Warriors. Is it with an S? Canines, right? Canines, don't forget the S. K, the number 9, the letter S, for Warriors, and FOR, forwarriors.org, okay? .org, and that's going to give you, thank you very much. This just in. I get to do that. That's an industry term, Jody. It's an industry term. This just in. Caninesforwarriors.org, and be a part of this mission. Tell more stories like Jody's. I mean, this is an extraordinary opportunity. Believe me, you will be blessed. Believe me, this will feel good. And it's a lot more. It means so much more than just saying, thank you for your service. That means a lot. It's a thank you. It's sincere. I'm not questioning that. But here's some action. Here's some real love. Love is a behavior. It's not just an emotion. TX, K9 TX to 41444 if you want to text. 210-796-3682. Call us today. We're here. K9s for Warriors and Ken's 5. We love you. We love you. All right, that's going to wrap things up. You can show them. 210-796-3682. Thank you so much. You were the best teleprompter operator I've ever seen. She was, and outside, you should have seen her in action. She was like running around Jeff and getting on that side and